pretty stiff. Nice whipped peaks. I can turn it over my head. This is what Jamie Oliver always does, right? He's like, you know they're done. Should I do it? That's really nerve-wracking. Hi, I'm Farideh, the culinary director at Munchies, and today we're making a Grasshopper Baked Alaska, which is a recipe from our new cookbook, Munchies Guide to Dinner. A Grasshopper Baked Alaska is a chocolate brownie layer that has a bit of mint in it, and then we're using mint chocolate chip ice cream mounded on top, and then a bunch of meringue along the outside, flambéed and served like that. What we're gonna do is use for our ice cream layer, mint chocolate chip ice cream. Now it has to be green. Okay, it doesn't have to be green. If you wanna use the natural stuff, that's fine. Do whatever you feel like. We're gonna use green stuff, okay? Because it's the best stuff. But we also need a bowl that's gonna fit on top of our brownie layer. We're gonna bake a brownie into this. We're gonna dome ice cream into it, and we're gonna flip it out on top like that. So it needs to be about a 2-quart size bowl. It can be glass or metal. It's gonna be like, what? Just like that with ice cream. Line this with some plastic wrap. You're gonna basically go like this. We're gonna do another layer of it right here. Just like that, right on in there. Our ice cream is softened to room temperature. So we're just gonna take it out. What a color, am I right? Look at this, beautiful mint green. There's nothing more beautiful in the world than this. You're gonna save a little bit for yourself to eat. Be careful not to get brain freeze. Switching to a clean metal spoon. Smooshing it in here. Filling all the little gaps and stuff. I'm doing this first because I want this to be prepared. I want all my little bits and bobs to be ready. You can make this a week ahead of time if you're having friends over for dinner. There's a lot of different claims as to where Baked Alaska was invented, but Delmonico's, which is based right here in New York City in downtown Manhattan, claims to have invented the Baked Alaska. So it's kind of like a steakhouse vibe. You have this overhang here. You kind of like tuck it up and over. We're gonna pop this into the freezer, and now we're gonna make our brownie. We set up a double boiler. So a double boiler is not as crazy and complicated as it sounds. It's super easy. You're just getting a saucepan, putting like maybe an inch or two of water in the bottom, and then a heat-proof bowl on top of it that can nest. The reason why we're using that is because we're gonna melt our butter in here. So unsalted butter, and then a combination, equal parts, semi-sweet chocolate and bittersweet chocolate. The reason why we're using a double boiler on this, the heat from the water is gonna gently melt the butter and the chocolate. It's not gonna burn or anything. So we're gonna wait for that to melt. Meanwhile, so a little bit of salt, like literally a pinch of salt into the old cake flour here. I'm gonna crack 2 eggs. Okay. 1 egg, 2 egg. We can mix these eggs with the sugar. It's about like a cup of sugar or something like that. And set that aside. There's some mint extract in here. We're making these like a chocolate mint brownie. If you don't want to make it minty, that's fine. You can just use vanilla extract instead of mint. But again, we're going with the whole grasshopper theme, so we're using mint extract for that. In this bowl here, we're using cake flour. So cake flour has a lower protein content, which is gonna make this a little bit more delicate. Cake flour can sometimes be a little bit difficult to find. For 1 cup of all-purpose flour, remove 2 tablespoons of the flour and replace it with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and it'll be basically the same. While we're waiting for our chocolate to melt, we're also going to take, it's about a 9-inch round cake pan. It's gonna take some extra butter and just use it to grease this guy all around and up the sides. We're gonna line our cake pan with some parchment paper. So an easy way to do that, take your square or rectangle of parchment. We're just gonna fold it in half, then we're gonna fold it in half again, like you're making a little cone, and then one more time, like this, okay? Then we're gonna take it, I'm gonna look at the middle point there, and I will cut right to the edge. Make a little circle here. Now this is called a cartouche. A lot of people use it when they're simmering things, whatever. I'm using it just to make a nice lining for the bottom of this cake pan. And then we're going to just grease it one more time, just because, to be safe. I like using a mixture of bittersweet and semi-sweet, just because sometimes I find semi-sweet to be a little bit too much, so the bittersweet kind of balances that out. So our chocolate and butter has melted nicely. You can add it directly into the egg and sugar mixture. Drizzle that in there and just whisk it as we go. Then we're gonna add our salt and our cake flour. This is like one of my favorite brownie recipes. I changed it around a little bit from my normal brownie recipe. So that is ready. Don't forget to lick this clean. Yep. Scoop it right on in here and just smooth it out into a nice even layer. We're gonna bake it at 400 degrees, about 15 to 20 minutes. Let it cool, and then we can basically assemble our baked Alaska. We're gonna make our meringue next. 6 egg whites into here. You can freeze your egg white for up to like a month or 2, so you can have them on hand, so you can make baked Alaska all fucking time. Into this, we're gonna whip up these egg whites, and then we're gonna add just a little bit of cream of tartar. I have to admit, I always thought cream of tartar was full of shit, and I don't know what it's for. It's just like, what is this? But here's what it's good for with a meringue. It'll keep your egg whites lighter, brighter, but also will help it increase in volume and keep it a little bit stiffer in that way. And we're just gonna whip these guys. And you could do this by hand, but why? These are pretty stiff. As they start to stiffen up a little bit more, I'm gonna gradually add in my granulated sugar now. Cool, so look at that. Nice whipped peaks. Oh, it just plopped in my fucking head right now. The joke would be on me. This is all ready. That was super terrifying and scary, but they're stiff, they're good. I'm gonna put this aside and we're ready to assemble our baked Alaska now. So just put a knife around the brownie to loosen it up. Take the old paper off. We got my ice cream from the freezer. Just lifts right out of there. And just right over the top. And look how easily that comes off of there. You have to work kind of fast here because you don't want this to all melt. And you want it to look kind of like rustic and fun. You're gonna do nice little swoops and stuff over it. You can go all the way around. Since I don't have such a big edge over here, I'm gonna keep the brownie exposed on the bottom. But by all means, if you have a bigger plate underneath of it, cover up the brownie also. You're gonna take your spoon and just kind of do little like swooshes on here, okay? Because you wanna make it look textured. So just like this. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's kind of fun when it's like a little wonky like that, you know? Little peaks on here. You notice I have a blowtorch. Don't be afraid. So the whole point of a baked Alaska is that you're burning the meringue a little bit. If you don't have a blowtorch, totally fine. Jack up the heat in your oven either to broil or 500 degrees and just put it in the oven. It's gonna be like 5 minutes until the meringue sets. Be careful though, don't do it in the oven for too long because there's ice cream in there and it will melt. Or if you wanna be a real fucking baller, you can pour some alcohol over it and then like flambe it. It's gonna light up on fire. So we're turning off the lights right now so you guys can see it lighting up. Ooh, moody. This is high proof rum. It's not really going, huh? Here's what I think needs to happen. I need to put the eggshell in there and nestle it and let it kind of overflow a little bit. Nestle the eggshell in there. We're gonna put a little bit more so you can't see the eggshell. And let it kind of overflow a little bit. There we go. Got it. And this is how you serve it to your friends. The old baked Alaska. Ah, I love this so much. This looks so good. Green mint chocolate chip ice cream is what makes this. It's the best part. Okay. So you've got your mint on meringue. It's so good. The brownie is a little bit fudgy because it was like slightly undercooked, super minty, then plus the mint chocolate chip ice cream. You got that meringue, which is so sweet and a little bit caramelized and stuff. This is delicious. You guys are gonna love it. This is the way to like impress your guests. And it's so easy. That was not hard at all. Go ahead, make this, make it for your friends, make it for yourself. Just sit around by yourself and eat this and just feel like a fancy ass motherfucker. Drink a martini. But also, buy the cookbook, Munchie's Guide to Dinner, make the baked Alaska, have the best time of your life, okay?